Experiments with water, part 2. In this video, you will learn about what things dissolve or do not dissolve in water. While going through this video, you will identify the things that dissolve in water and that do not dissolve in water. Understand why things dissolve or do not dissolve in water. Connect your understanding of evaporation with drying of clothes, dandy mass to make salt, etc. Now try to identify these pictures. I think all of you can identify all these things. Have you identified? Yes, very good. First is honey, second is butter, third is coffee powder, then oil, surf, and oil paint. Now you have to just guess among all these things which things can dissolve in water and which things do not dissolve in water. Just try to identify it. A guesswork. Solute. The things that we put in water to check if it dissolves or not is called as solute. Examples: salt, sugar, soil, sand, chalk powder, etc. Solvent. The liquid in which we add solute, that is called as solvent, like water. Solution. When solute dissolves in solvent, it forms solution. Like salt, when dissolves in water, it forms salty water. Salt is a solute, water is a solvent, and salty water is a solution. In the same way, sugar, when we put in water, it forms sweet water. So we can say salty water or sweet water is a solution. Now, what is solution? If things dissolve in water, then only solution is formed. And if things do not dissolve in water, then solution is not formed. For example, sugar plus water. It means sugar dissolves in water to form sugar solution. And when we put or add sand in water, it does not dissolve. So, no solution is formed. This is an activity to identify what dissolves in water. Children, for this activity you need 5 glasses, spoon, water, and the things which are listed in the table, that is salt, soil, chalk powder, 1 spoon milk and oil. Take some water in each glass and put these things, that is salt in first glass, soil in the second one, chalk powder in the third one, 1 spoon of milk in the fourth one, and oil in the fifth one. Try to dissolve it and then find out whether it dissolves or not. Write yes or no. Then keep all the glasses still for 2 to 5 minutes and then observe what happened. What happened after keeping for 2 minutes? Can you see the salt in the glass? Can you see the soil particles or the chalk powder? Can you see the milk, or can you separate the milk from the water? Can you mix oil in the water? So just find out all these things by doing this activity. You cannot see salt or sugar dissolved in water. Why? Water breaks the molecules of salt and sugar in small parts, so that salt and sugar are absorbed in water. This is the reason we cannot see any salt or sugar in water. You can see the small particles of soil or chalk powder settles down in water after keeping for some time. Why? Soil or chalk particles do not dissolve in water and also denser than water, so they settle at the bottom of water. How can you separate chalk powder or soil from water? Chalk powder and soil does not dissolve in water, so these can be separated from water by using a filter paper or cotton cloth. Using cotton cloth is very common and we use it in our daily life also. Whereas using filter paper we usually do in the lab. What happened to oil when you try to stir it again and again? Do you think the oil got dissolved in the water? After stirring again and again, one can see tiny oil drops in the water. After keeping for some time, one can see oil floating on the water surface. It means oil do not dissolve in water. Things which dissolve in water are called as soluble in water. New term, soluble. We can say that salt and sugar are soluble in water. Detergents are soluble in water. Honey is soluble in water. Things that do not dissolve in water is called insoluble in water. We can say oil is insoluble in water. Sand, chalk powder is insoluble in water. Things dissolve in water depends on temperature of water, like in ice cool water, things takes long time to dissolve than hot or boiling water. Things dissolve in water readily when broken into small pieces or are in powdered form. Stirring helps to dissolve things faster. Now find out what things do you put in water to make tea. Which of those things dissolve in water? You have washed your handkerchief and you want to dry quickly. What all can you do? Suggest some ways to dissolve mystery pieces in water quickly. So children, try to find out the answer and write it. Dandi March, the historical long walk which took place in 1930 before India became independent. For many years the British had made a law that did not allow people to make salt themselves. They had also put a heavy tax on salt. By this law, people could not make salt even for use at home. How can anybody live without salt? Gandhiji said. How can a law not allow us to use freely what nature has given? Gandhiji with several other people went on a yatra, long walk from Ahmedabad to the Dandi seashore to Gujarat to protest against this law. This is Ahmedabad, from where the Dandi March started. Gandhi started Dandi March and many people joined, and they all reach here at Dandi seashore where Gandhiji made salt from seawater. During the march, thousands of Indians followed Gandhi from his religious retreat near Ahmedabad to the Arabian Sea coast, a distance of about 240 miles, that is around 320 kilometers. The march resulted in the arrest of nearly 60,000 people, including Gandhiji himself. Now, how this salt is prepared? You have already learned that seawater contains salt dissolved in it. This is a picture of seawater which contains salt dissolved in it. This seawater is collected in shallow beds. This is also called as salt farming. From these shallow beds, water evaporates and only salt is left behind. The white colored thing which you can see here, these are salt. Then salt is collected. Here also salt is collected and made into heaps. From here the salt is taken to the factories and it is processed. It means it becomes free from impurities. And then the salt is ready for use. You know that salt is very important for us. Now think and answer. How can we separate dissolved salt from salt solution? Why do we hang wet clothes on cloth line under sun? Why do we stir milk after putting sugar in it? Can you separate oil from water by using a piece of cloth as a filter? Children, I think you can write the answer of these questions on the basis of your understanding. Very simple answer. Just go through the video. You will get the answer there only and write the answer. And thank you for watching the video.